Hello, everyone. Hi, it's Bumbleberry. We are back and ready to be seduced. So, who is it today? For now, we're gonna go with Suzu.
Booyah! Dragon Company it is! Alright, now that we've decided on a name, now what?
As we ended our name game, a giggle scrambled my thoughts. Oh, Lisette. Who's that?
Ignore it, it's just Lisette.
I looked over my shoulder to see her laughing with her circle of friends, mostly compromised of popular people that were practically friends with everyone in the school. And as a result, everyone in the school knew them. In the center of it all was Lisette White. Oh wait, I can skip all that. Psh. I'll wish I was just as fast getting out of here. Naomi folded her arms close to her chest, giving me a disappointed look.
Oh, not you too! She's turning you into a delinquent.
I do what I can. It's just a joke, Naomi.
Well, it's not really funny.
I picked you
Man,
first.
you guys are slow. Are you coming or what? We heard you the first time. Not everyone has rocket boosters attached to their legs when the bell rings.
Sassiness. Let's have the spiciness. Might as well go spicy today. Once we got our food, we settled it down at one of the empty tables, putting our backpacks aside to finally dig into the food. Suzu leaned back in her chair, tilting it back so that she could rest her feet on the table by her food.
Alright then. Is there anything we want to talk about?
Boys.
Bored
secretly.
already? I know. Let's talk about... I say boys, and I will never speak to you ever again. Aw, why
I'm
not?
kind of curious to see what she
What's so
says.
interesting about talking about guys? It's not like any of us are gonna get boyfriends anytime soon. We don't know that. What if one of us does get a boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's going to happen, Naomi.
I had 18.
Look at us. I'm a tiny Italian. You're a ditzy blonde.
So rude.
Hey! No offense. And Anderson here. Well, I guess she could land a boyfriend or girlfriend if she wants. Or a girlfriend? She can be a lesbian if she wants. True.
Poor Naomi. That's okay, Suzu. I'm not sure I want a boyfriend yet. Oh, jeez. Suzu's right, Naomi.
Of course you would side with her.
Yeah.
Ha! See? At least she knows how to have fun.
Whatever. Lisette's a jerk face. Suzu's sassy. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Oh, kissing. Meeting the boys. Hit him again.
How? You're just being violent now!
You deserved it. I'm sorry. Never hit people, but that was kind of funny. If you try to pull any funny business in the future, just a fair warning, I know Taekwondo. I think I've bickered enough. Time to get back to the main issue. Why are you all in my house? That was really hilarious. I guess I'll just do all the negative ones with the boys since we're never going to see them again. I grabbed a pillow, covering myself with it. I felt stupid, yes, but who knew what this guy could do? Do your worst. This time, I am prepared. He didn't move. I guess he wasn't going to attack me. Sorry. One thing still concerned me. Okay, whatever. That's fine. So we didn't die. You can have it.
What? I appreciate the thought, but no thanks.
Oh my gosh. That's too bad. Are you sure? I picked up the doll and waved it around him. It was funny teasing him. That's so sad.
Ah, help! It's gonna kill me!
Look at his face. Alright, I'll stop.
Anyway, I'm heading back to help out with the food. You can come over if you're hungry.
No problemo. I think I'll go with you then. The poor abandoned bunny rabbit. No. It's fine. Maybe another time.
Very well. Here's your seat then.
Oh, James, you're so classy.
Let me get your chair for you, lovely lady.
Oh, gosh, Eric. Smack him.
Ah! That's going to sting.
Oh my gosh, I'm the meanest person. Sorry, I panicked.
No, I was expecting that.
I drew my attention back to the dishes. I was both intrigued and slightly scared by the amount of food they made. Oh my gosh, I am like the meanest girl ever. None of these guys are gonna like me. But I did. She just smiled instead of laughing. That's cool, yo. That's cool. They're visitors.
Then why did one of them open the door?
Don't worry about it. Let's go to the party. I'll go out with Suzu
Are
and
you
Naomi.
sure?
Yeah, I'm good. You need to teach me, Suzu.
You just need to eat spicy food all the time. You gotta tame your mouth.
Tame your mouth? Really, Suzu?
Sounds difficult.
Anyways, after the mall, what do you want to do? We could go to the Pink Lady Cafe and chill out with Kay. I'm sure she'd love the company.
But we have to stop by the arcade. They have this new game out called Orion. You get to control this guy named Isaku, and you're part of the rebel forces, and you get to shoot things, and there's robots, and...
Sheesh, we get it, Suzu, we get it. We'll go to the arcade.
Woohoo! Let's go to the arcade first. Wow! So we headed to the mall and walked around for a good amount of time before driving out to Moonfall Arcade. As weird as the name sounded, the arcade was one of the best arcades in the city. That was a lot of arcade in like 2 sentences. Kids and teenagers lined the games, watching the players at the consoles as they anxiously awaited to have their turn.
Oh, there it is! There it is!
Suzu grabbed Naomi and me by the hands before dragging us to a section of the arcade where a bunch of kids had gathered in awe and excitement. In the middle of the crowd, there was a large game with 2 joystick platforms and a screen that flashed the name Orion every other second. In the background of the screen, a holographic playfield glimmered before us, revealing a neo-futuristic battlefield and an enemy robot charging right at the camera.
This is the game you were excited about?
It looks really cool.
That's right! And I'm gonna play it so hard I'll beat the game in 1 shot.
Shh. Suzu smirked and looked at me, hoping I would join her, as I usually did for partner games. I looked to Naomi, who merely rolled her eyes, crossed her arms, and gave me the okay nod. Oh, she looks so annoyed. Sorry, Naomi. I secretly love you. It's okay. I grinned before nodding to Suzu, who cheered in joy.
Woohoo! Alright, let's do this.
Ooh, different angle. Let's play some video games. It took us a good half hour before we were able to step up to the platforms. The point of the game was to beat the government and restore freedom to the general public. So this is like the chaotic playthrough, by the way, if you hang out with Suzu a lot and you decide not to end up with anyone. Apparently there's a secret ending for that, as well as like with Naomi, if you choose her side the whole time but don't choose a romantic route with her. I will see those eventually, I think. We'll see. We played as rebels and a robot, and it was enemies. Playing with Suzu was always an adventure. We both knew what our strengths and weaknesses were, so it was easy to collaborate with each other. It wasn't long before we got into the swing of the game and were beating enemies like crazy. By the time we got to the boss, we were unstoppable. It was so refreshing to beat the boss and put our 3-letter codenames into the high score list.
And that is how you game. We are unstoppable, Anderson.
Yeah, I know. Suzu gave me a large smile, which made me smile back. I was happy to be able to hang out and have fun with my friends like this. I felt free from worries or responsibilities. It was something I loved. We eventually lost track of the time and wound up staying longer than we expected, making us unable to stop at the cafe before going home to dress for the housewarming party. So we drove back. Naomi and Suzu picked up clothes and other necessities from their houses before driving back to the mansion. Ooh, party time! Does Suzu really notice that we're hot? Let me see.
Hey, are you okay in there? Your parents should be here soon, so you should hurry getting ready.
Well, I am ready, but...
What? I'm sure you look fine, Anderson. Just come on out.
All right. What?
Dude, you look hot.
See, it doesn't seem like she's actually interested in me. I'm ready. I had to be confident in my skills. My dad expected a lot out of me already. If I faltered at this party, who knows what he would think of me. I had to assure myself in every word of the mouth that I was ready. Okay, so I skipped ahead because you guys have seen all that before, so the party's over. I'm going to try making them pizza because I've never done that before. Do we even have any pizza? Luckily, we had some in the freezer. Pizza de Mores, baked with love pizza. Had all the makings of pizza types, including pepperoni, etc. I'd have to get more later. Sounds delicious. I love pizza like all the time, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. None of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. Okay. Let's go to my room. I wonder what would happen if I went to go and find one of them, since like none of them are friends with me. Let's go to the arcade. I arrived at the arcade, ready to spend some cash on some fun games. I didn't want to be stuck home on a Sunday. Besides, the arcade always had something new to play, no matter how often you came. Ooh, I like this music. I began to wander the aisles of machines, scanning over them to find a good game to play. I'd played a lot of the games already with Suzu, so it was just a matter of finding a good one. Ooh, there was a crowd of people surrounding a group of machines. I got closer and peeked through the crowd to see Suzu sitting in a racing game versus two other players who were on the same machine behind her. From the looks of it, Suzu was losing, and that was causing her angry face.
You're going down!
His name is literally Jerk.
Kiss my Italian ass!
I stifled a giggle, watching Suzu remain playful under stress. She was adorable but feisty, a truly spicy Italian. I observed as Suzu finally caught up to her opponents and passed them with ease.
What the? Hurry it up!
Later, losers!
Their names were Moron and Jerk. Classy. The crowd began to cheer, watching Suzu beat one of the guys and slide into first place. As the lights and sound began to blare in celebration, the two jerks left the machines in a huff and Suzu stood up.
Good game, everyone!
Slowly, the crowd began to disperse, leaving me standing to applaud for Suzu alone. Suzu smiled as she finally saw me, walking over.
Hey, what brings you here?
I didn't want to be stuck at home, so I came here. I needed to have some fun after yesterday.
Yeah, man, I get you. Yesterday was full of tightwad business guys. I mean, me and Naomi were pretty uncomfortable, too.
Really? I'm really sorry about that. Suzu laughed and waved her hand in the dismissal of it. She then leaned against the racing game and put her hands in her pockets.
So what do you plan on doing here?
I don't want to have alone time. Let's play a game together.
Oh, really? What game do you think you could beat me at?
I think we can do some major damage and beat our high scores in robot extermination. Suzu grinned from ear to ear, nodding before taking my hand and heading over to the machine in question. It was cute to see Suzu like this. She was always the adventurous type, and I love that side of her beyond anything. I guess that's what kept our friendship strong for so long. Eventually, we did reach a large machine, covered with images of robots disguised as animal mascots and blood. We took up our plastic guns and swiped our game cards across the credit slot, giving credits to the game to play.
You take left, I take right?
As usual, let's go. The game quickly started up and we blasted our way through hordes of robots, landing more headshots than the professional shooter tournament players. Then why don't you play and, win? It had become our go-to high-score game. We always kept the top 5 spots on the leaderboard for ourselves. As we finished the first level, though, we were stunned to see the new leaderboard at the loading screen.
Someone took number 1?
Oh, heck no.
We maxed that level, right?
Mm-hmm. Suzu looked at me with a very familiar, deadly look in her eyes. She was determined to regain number 1. So was I. I knew what that meant. No deaths, quick reloads, and consistent headshots and Easter egg points. The whole experience itself ran 2 hours straight, with the main game and its sequel programmed into the machine. Once you finished one, you immediately began the next until you reached the end of the second game. At least it had cutscenes to take breaks between. It'll be tough, but we got this. Suzu nodded before putting her game card in the breast pocket of her jacket and readying herself for the next level. I braced myself for a long game.
Hey, Anderson, let's make this a little more fun. Whoever has the least amount of headshots has to treat the other to lunch.
It's almost 2 p.m., Suzu.
There's such a thing as late lunch.
Second breakfast!
Second level.
Oh,
Stop.
that was terrifying. And we were off. Virtual bullets began to fly across the screen, slamming into the heads of multiple robots and causing them to fall to the floor and die out. One by one, Suzu and I burned through the game like our lives depended on it. We eventually had a crowd behind us, cheering us on and offering us food so we wouldn't have to leave the machine. Most of them were guys who liked the girl on gun action, but some of them were actually excited bystanders, hoping we would take back our high score. We snacked a bit, taking breaks between our cutscenes and level changes, but we remained true to our goal. Eventually, we made it to the final boss, a giant black bear robot with red eyes and deadly attacks.
Let's go, Anderson!
Right behind you! The crowd began to cheer. Our legs were a little wobbly, but we were too into the game to care. All we cared about was a large red bar at the top of the screen slowly emptying with each bullet we fired into the boss's body. We only had a few shots left when someone called out,
"You girls suck!"
Without missing a shot, Suzu and I replied at once.
You wish we did!
Before landing the final blow to our opponent, the death cutscene flashed and played on the screen, the screams of the robot bear booming through the speakers. Suzu and I weren't excited just yet. We were waiting for the score screen to appear. It was the final high score screen of the entire game, so it was the most important one in our eyes. Come on, come on.
New high score.
The screen popped up, revealing our code SCA as the #1 score in the game, knocking down our mysterious Mal opponent to second place. Who is Mal, do you think? Oh my gosh, is it the demon guy? Malix? Or Malix, or however it's pronounced. The crowd behind us went ballistic as Suzu and I hugged each other tightly in joy. It was like stepping over a major milestone, despite it only being an arcade game. May I just say, by the way, that I can totally imagine Malix like trying to play this game because his stupid gun wouldn't work. We did it! Woohoo! The second screens came up, separating Suzu and I from our hug of delight. In matters of accuracy, I was better. However, she had more kills and headshots, making her the winner of our little bet.
Booyah! Free lunch!
Alright, where to, boss?
I just want some drive-thru food. I've been eating way too many home-cooked meals, man. I need at least one unhealthy meal.
Sure thing, girl. I know what you're saying. Suzu's family was indeed Italian, but they were very self-conscious about their food. They were quite possibly the healthiest family I knew. That's unusual. We occasionally stopped because we were questioned because of our skills. Where a decently used Jade motorcycle sat with chains around its wheels. Does Suzu have a motorcycle? Apparently she does. Oh my gosh, at least we have helmets. I'm so scared of these in real life. I put on my leather seat behind her, putting on one of the helmets and wrapping my arms around her waist. I had ridden with her on the motorcycle before, so this was nothing new to us. Suzu revved the engine and quickly sped out of the lot, driving into the street towards the fast food joint.
Does Paradise Parlor sound good? I'd love some Paradise Nuggets and cheese fries.
Yeah, sounds good. We went through the drive-thru and ordered meals for ourselves before heading to my home. Suzu parked in front, watching me dismount from her bike.
Thanks for late lunch.
You're welcome. Might as well be dinner now. Suzu and I laughed. It was funny how time flew by. Want to stick around and eat together?
Huh? Oh, nah, man. I gotta head back home and watch Francesca while my folks meet up with some bigwigs from the casino.
Whatever. See you in school then.
Thanks, though. See ya!
I waved at Suzu before quickly heading out of the gates and going back home. How did I get back home if I took the motorcycle? Oh, she dropped me off. That's right. Suzu stuck around in my mind for a little while longer than I expected, but I couldn't help but smile. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. I saw a text I must have completely forgotten about.
Dude, are you okay? Did the drive home yesterday go okay with your dad?
I tried to remember, but for some reason yesterday's event seemed blurry and almost blank. I remember going to school, dealing with Lisette, then going home. I don't remember, however, being picked up by him. I must have been, or else I wouldn't be safe at home. I rubbed my head, trying to shake out the exhaustion. Stupid studying. I sighed and texted back. Sorry I forgot to text you. Everything was fine. See you when you get here. I made myself some quick toast and coffee. Needing a jump start, I felt drained and I didn't need to fall asleep. Suzu seemed to be very tense, focusing on her desk more so than usual. I was almost tempted to poke her and see what was wrong. My phone, though, vibrated in my pocket. Thank goodness I set it on vibrate before class. I checked, seeing it from a text from Naomi. I began to go text back, suddenly going into a text conversation.
Hey, do you know what's wrong with Suzu?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope she's okay. She looks so stern.
Same here. Excuse me. I just had some hot water. I looked over once again at Suzu. She was intensely scribbling in her notebook, almost obsessively so. The grip on her new-looking purple pencil was almost tight enough to bend it with each stroke she made with it.
Oh, by the way, did you hear?
What?
Apparently, Suzu's family is really involved with the mob. My dad told me he saw Suzu's dad in court this morning with a big-time crime boss.
Oh, no. Really? That's kind of ridiculous. Just because she's Italian, they're involved with the mob. But whatever. I couldn't believe it. Was Suzu okay? I looked over once more. Something made my heart slightly skip at seeing her again. I was worried, yes, but for some reason I felt a little sad. Suzu had always sworn up and down that her family had had no relations with crime lords, yet this happened. Why was this happening? It's alright, I was friends with, demons and incubi and whatnot. I put my phone back into my pocket, ending the conversation. Hopefully Suzu would explain things to me soon. I was worried beyond belief about Suzu's position with her family. Time continued till the end of the class period for that exact status. Suzu held her tense ground, focusing on nothing but the incoherent scribbles on her paper, while Naomi and I watched on in worry, not caring for the class we were in. Suzu stood up suddenly.
I gotta go. See you guys later.
Oh, come back! She zipped out of the class like she was fleeing the devil himself.
What just happened?
I feel so bad because Naomi, in her backstory, in case you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it on my other thing, but, she had a crush on me the whole time, whereas I feel like Suzu maybe didn't. I don't know what happened. Let's chase after her. I needed to see what was wrong. Suzu was important to me, and I needed to help her. I grabbed my things and rushed out of the classroom.
Whoa! Where are you going? Hey!
Oh, Naomi! I wasn't listening. I needed to get to Suzu. It was harder to spot Suzu. I just wish she was a little taller. That's cute. Suzu. I began to push through the crowd, trying to find a trace of her hair, her jacket, anything. I managed to get a glimpse of her green jacket, instinctively following it down the hall into a classroom. Suzu's class was the other way. Where was she going? I continued following and peeked into the classroom, seeing no one else in there except Suzu. She was standing over an empty desk, slamming her fists onto the wood. I didn't know what to do. The world behind me in the hall went into slow motion as I stared at Suzu's back. She obviously wanted to be alone, but I wanted to help her and help fix whatever was bothering her. Oh, yeah, let's leave her alone now. No, help her. I couldn't leave her like this. I quickly stepped into the room, quietly, and closed the door, making her flinch and freeze up. Suzu? She gasped before turning to me, a shocked expression on her face. Tears had painted her cheeks, which made my heart sink in my chest. Suzu, what's wrong?
It's nothing. Nothing.
Suzu quickly rubbed her eyes and face, trying to cover her face and clean it of all the sadness. I pressed my lips together, not believing her. Suzu, talk to me. You were acting strange in history.
I was just listening to the lecture.
You were scribbling in your notebook. I was watching almost the entire class period.
I have bad handwriting.
Oh, it was true, but she wouldn't write notes about class. She didn't care much for class, unlike Naomi and me. Why was she lying to me? What was going on? What was making her so distraught? Suzu, whatever is troubling you, let me help you.
You can't help me, okay?
I stepped back, feeling the sudden anger in her voice. She covered her mouth, regretting what came out of it, and stared in almost pure fright at me. Suzu... I stepped towards her, not wanting to scare her, but wanting to be closer. She didn't seem to be affected, so I continued to walk towards her. Eventually, we were only a desk away from each other. Tell me. Suzu stared before letting out a shuddering sigh, nodding in defeat. I slowly took a seat in the desk in front of me, watching as she moved now to stand in front of it.
I've been having some issues, okay?
Issues? What about?
I'm supposed to help out the casino after graduation.
Isn't that good? It's a job, so it'll pay...
Yeah, pay. And blood money.
Oh. What do you mean? Is something going on with the casino?
Yeah, I get the pleasure of being a true Italian.
What do you mean?
Well, Dad's always wanted to own a casino, but my dad's an immigrant and whatever, so language barriers kept him from doing that. Luckily, my mom's pure Chicagoan, and so she knows English. When they opened up the casino together, I thought it'd be a great experience.
But it wasn't, was it?
A couple of suits showed up to our house last night. Mafia suits. They claimed that we were under protection as part of the Capone family.
Are you really related to the Capones? I'm finding that hard to believe. No way. Suzu.
Look, I knew my family was a little messed up, but to be related to Capone was beyond crazy. My mother swore up and down that she had no relation to them, but apparently, through a marriage and a couple contracts, we're technically part of the family. Even if it isn't true, they made my folks sign out a protection license.
It was crazy. Al Capone was a Chicago... I know who Al Capone is because... whatever. That's fine. It was a Chicago mobster Robin Hood. Okay, he didn't really give to the poor as far as I know. But he knew how to keep a family together. I never knew Suzu's family was so involved. Was Suzu so protective of her family? It's no wonder she was upset. She preached so often her family wasn't involved in things like that. Even Naomi defended her. I had to stop. This wasn't helping Suzu. I needed to help her feel better beyond anything else. So what happens to you?
Nothing. We pay a part of our profit to the family, and we're protected. Protected my ass. It's bribe money to make sure we don't lose business or get bombed.
Suzu stared down at the desk between us, her hands tightening into fists.
This is bullshit. I was gonna be normal. I was gonna be happy. I was gonna finally be normal enough to ask you out.
What? I felt like I was dreaming. What? She wanted to ask me out? When? What? How? Sorry. Suzu covered her mouth and stared up at me as if she had slapped me and regretted moving her hand. I stared, lost in my own thoughts. Suzu pounded the desk with her fists again.
Fuck! This is great! Just great! Just turn around.
I stood and turned around, obeying her. Lost in my own train of thought, I needed to do anything I could to help her subconsciously. I could hear Suzu grumbling to herself.
This is stupid. Stupid! You just... You might as well go. I mean, this is...
Suzu groaned. I could feel her mixed emotions radiate onto my back. I felt myself step forward, away from Suzu in reaction. Oh. Quickly, though, Suzu grabbed the hold of my back of my vest. I froze, breaking away from my own thoughts.
I like you. I really do, okay?
Aww. I felt my heart flutter in flattery. Suzu, one of my best friends, liked me. I wasn't sure what to say. Suzu's grip on my vest tightened, pulling me slightly. I wanted to turn and hug her right now, but she needed to let her emotions out.
I like you, but I don't want to ask you out like this. I don't want people to think you're affiliated with the Mafia, kid. This whole situation is just messed up, and...
I felt my heart drop. She cared about me and wanted to protect me from her reputation. I was flattered, but at the same time I was angry. She was my best friend, and she liked me enough to confess her feelings to me, despite her situation. What could I say to her, though? This was a huge deal for both her and me. She had been one of my best friends for the majority of my life. Here she was, confessing to having a crush on me. It was surreal, yet it made me feel both strange and fluffy. Suzu sighed and let go of my vest. I turned around to see her run her fingers through her hair.
Look, I'm sorry. I guess I needed to vent. I feel better now.
I couldn't help but stare at Suzu longer. Was she not expecting me to say anything in return? A sentence bubbled in my stomach, forcing itself out of my mouth without filter. Go out with me, why not? Go for it. Lady love number 2, 3, whoever you are. I did not know what came over me. I let it spill out. I liked her, though. I liked her a lot. She was badass and cute in her own special way. I loved that she was an individual and stayed true to herself no matter what Naomi or I did. Sure, she was a little aggressive, but that added to the charm. Suzu stared wide-eyed at me, blushing as red as could be. I was positive that if she blushed any more, she would faint from all the blood rushing into her cheeks to color them that red.
Did you just...
Yeah, I did. I stepped forward and gently took Suzu's hand. I needed her to know how I felt. She poured her feelings out to me. It was more than fair to share mine with her. I really like you too. You're adorable, and I love that about you. You're caring and fun, and you have this sort of charm. Suzu, will you go out with me? Suzu was completely red in the face, but her eyes started to water. Rogue tears dripped out of the edges of her eyes, and she almost glared at me.
But what about...
I don't care. We'll deal with it as we come. as it comes. Oh, gross. But for now, I want to be with you. Truly. Suzu stared before rushing at me and hugging me tightly, burying her face in my chest. I held her tightly, wanting to comfort her. I felt a small part of my heart fill with pure joy. I felt happy, like nothing was going to stand in our way. Months went by since Suzu's confession. We were happy, and eventually graduation came along. It passed over. Everybody was happy. I did my best in school. I was finally a woman. Suzu, as my girlfriend, went to work at the casino right after school, learning both security and machine design. I guess her love for video games drew her interest in slot machines. Soon she was able to fix broken or hacked machines within mere moments. As for her family, they weren't afraid of the protection that they had, but they were cautious with every business meeting that they held with their bigwigs. Suzu would often drag me to the arcade to blow off steam if something went wrong. But what of my future? I was standing up for myself. Ew, and Anderson is the winner again. I got a degree at University of Chicago. I want to be the CEO. I want to do that. Okay, what is going to happen? Suzu is going to support me. I woke up.
Is everything as you wanted, sweetie?
Yes.
I hope you and your little Suzu have a wonderful life together.
Yeah, thanks, whatever. Bye forever. Oh, she put the purple pencil in her cleavage. Okay, that's nice.
Hey, can I come over?
Sure thing, Suzu. What's wrong?
I just need to see you, okay?
Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. What could have happened? And there's her motorcycle, and she's looking at me.
Tell me you love me.
Suzu, what's...
Just tell me.
All right, I love you, okay?
You love me?
I love you a lot, okay? Now what's... Before I knew it, Suzu rushed to me and held me tightly. I guess I didn't read that right. I should have been like, I love you a lot. Whatever. You guys get the picture. I gasped but wrapped my arms around Suzu, trying to comfort her despite my confusion. She obviously needed some love right now. I would get my answers when she was okay.
I love you too. I never felt like this with anyone.
This is our first time saying I love you, and it's, like, demanded, I guess? Whatever. I don't know. And I feel like I love yous should be not demanded, but, like, shown and then said, I guess, is my opinion. I don't know if you guys have an opinion, or if it's none of my beeswax, you know. But since I am Mika, you know, I am her voice, just thought I'd share. I held her close, petting her head gently. When Suzu relaxed in my arms, she looked up at me, tears in her eyes.
My parents want you to come over for dinner.
Wait, what?
My parents want to meet you as my girlfriend. They were shocked when they found out you and I were together, and it's really embarrassing. I don't want you to feel pressured, but they're serious. And now that they're connected with the mob, then...
Suzu, shh. Placed a finger over her lips, making her stare up at me in surprise. I would love to have dinner with your folks as your girlfriend. I'd do anything for you. Oh, kissy kissy. Suzu smiled widely up at me, more tears falling down her cheeks. She wrapped her arms up under mine and kissed me lovingly, surprising me. As soon as she did, though, she pulled away.
I didn't mean to.
Feeling bold, I grabbed her hand and pulled her back to me, wrapping my arms around her, kissing her with the same amount of love she gave me. She was shocked, but as I felt her relax in my arms, she kissed me back. This is our first kiss? How long have we been dating? I didn't want to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this woman in my arms. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic high, all at once. Here I was, holding the woman I wanted to be with like nothing else mattered. I vowed to cherish her and love her for the remainder of my days and beyond. And that was my happily ever after. For this time, and Suzu's love, F. Dun, dun, dun. No. Innocent. Ignorance. Let's see Suzu's pictures. Did I get all of them? I did. Here is one. 2 of them are of her gaming, though. Which I feel like is a slight jip. But that's a cute picture of her, isn't it? It doesn't really look like her, in my opinion. Like, obviously it looks like her, but it doesn't really. I don't know. I'm confused about life sometimes. This is cute. She's like, meh, Mika. Mika's just like, whatever, lady. That's nice. Well, I'm happy that, our mobster girlfriend is happy. But, next time we're going to be doing one of the boys. Literally. Just kidding. Kind of. So, let me know who you'd like to see next. I did Suzu this round. We will see who I decide on. I'm actually not sure. I'm going to do 2 episodes right now, so I might upload one of the boys. I might upload this young lady. But now we're done with the girls in the game, at least the ones that I know of. Well, you guys have a great day. Stay sweet. Please let me know what you thought of the episode. Like and comment. Whatever you feel like. Go with the flow. Be awesome. And have a great rest of the day.